Alexis, are you ready?
Perhapsably.
Jesus, you're loud.
I'm not that loud.
You are very loud for me. Hang on.
I think you just
Oh,
have
you're on
sensitive ears.
You're on 200%.
That might be why I'm very loud.
There we go. We don't have the pick ban for some
Where's
reason.
the overlay?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh.
Tech issues, tech issues.
Yeah, give it a sec.
Scuffed stream, scuffed stream.
Yeah.
But the bans are going through. No surprise about the Shen ban.
Dan is just a very decisive pick to let it go through. Leaves up way too much flexibility outside the map. The Samira ban is unorthodox.
Maybe they have a Nami main.
These bans in general are quite unorthodox, either a lot of scouting or just throwing bans out there like it doesn't mean anything. Probably the former.
Ooh, I do not have an overlay for you. However, there will be an overlay in game. I am very sorry about that.
We may forgive you this time.
So we get Kai'Sa with the
There.
first pick.
Into Ash.
Bit confused about the Samira ban if they're going to pick Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa actually kind of counters Samira because she can't really W away any of Kai'Sa's stuff because she usually dashes right on top of her. But following the Kai'Sa with an Ashe then, fairly standard. Which side's which, by the way? I don't know which team's which.
So the left side is Team Scarlet.
Team Scarlet, then horsing around
The other
So
team
horsing
is
around trying
horsing
to run back the previous comp then by the looks of it.
We got it. I fixed it.
Good job.
Would have preferred to see the Amumu there opposed to the Zac, as Zac can easily be altered away by Xin Zhao on the E in important fights later on in the game. But I guess Zac does offer more utility outside of that initial fight. The Valkos pickup, it's fine, just kind of standard.
You're kind of standard.
Fizz is interesting, very feast or famine. But I guess has a lot of potential against Valkos, who's not exactly the most mobile of champions. Galio ban, it's interesting. Probably to help the Ashe out there, she doesn't really have any way to get away from a Galio if Galio is onto her. And then a Mundo ban on that side. They are quite heavily AP focused, so Mundo does make a bit of sense on the ban there. They respond with a Garen ban. I'm not even going to justify that one.
Not a fan of Garen ban.
It doesn't do anything, especially versus their comp. Ashe infinitely kites the Garen, Xin Zhao just ults away the Garen, Fizz ease away from the Garen. Like, Garen is not a threat to the comp they're currently going for at the moment. I think there's a lot of different potential options that could hamper the comp more than a Garen could. But I mean, that could change with what they plan to pick for their support and top lane. Nautilus. Even more reason to not really ban the Garen there. Garen just doesn't get to do anything versus that team. Lissandra pickup, they are so heavily AP. They need some real nice AD damage now from the top lane. And I don't think Renekton cuts it. There's no late game AD damage on them, and they're a very scale intense comp with Valkars, Kai'Sa, Listen, and Zac. They like to play for that late game, and Renekton I just feel doesn't accomplish that. If he falls behind, or even if he breaks even, it's going to be a disaster for them in the late game. And then they pick up a Gnar on horsing around side. I think in terms of draft, it looks like horsing around's won the draft at the very least. Their comp's a lot more versatile, has a very clear goal of what it's trying to do, where Team Scarlet looks like they either go for the all-in and win, or they go for the all-in and die. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting match. Early game Team Scarlet definitely have the potential, especially with Renekton, if they can get Renekton fed, Zac with early ganks, and Valkars is a bit of a lane bully, but the moment they fall behind, it's a bit of a disaster for Scarlet. Meanwhile, horsing around, all they really need to do is just not die, and they're good to go.
So what are your predictions?
Based on the draft, horsing around definitely wins this, but I mean, it really depends on how they play around. All they really need to do is just play exceedingly safe. Don't take any fights outside of objectives. Really play safe in lane. Make sure Renekton doesn't get ahead, and they pretty much just win just purely off of that. Because like if Kai'Sa gets ahead, if Lissandra gets ahead, that could really set up problems for horsing around, as they do have the potential to just carry off of those two picks. But if they just keep everybody just at even, horsing around just has a massive lead. There's just so much more that can be done with horsing around's comp than Team Scarlet's.
You know what makes me really sad? They're called horsing around, but they do not play Hecarim. I think it's a waste.
Definitely, definitely missing the LARP factor right there. I do wonder if Zac's going to try and put more emphasis onto the bot lane or the top lane. Both are kind of terrible options. Like, God, this is so difficult for Team Scarlet. They just don't have anything to do for the jungler. It's like they go bot, and then Renekton falls incredibly behind, especially versus a Gnar. He goes top, and then if they don't get the kills top, it's just a complete waste of time. I think the only hope Scala has is to use the champion advantage of the early game and just really put pressure on the objectives, get the first straight, get the grubs, try and use those to get some early plates. Especially bot lane, they can definitely try and abuse some plates bot lane with Kai'Sa and Valkar's poke. As long as they don't get hooked by the Nautilus, which thank God they don't have me on their team, because they'd get hooked every single time. Because I cannot dodge hooks. Wonder if we'll see an invade. I don't think the invades are particularly strong on either side. I guess it just depends on if one gets caught out. But probably won't be an invade. It'll probably just be the standard setup.
And we are transitioning to the game. while it loads. There we go. We're in.
I know the horsing around says they did their bans expecting Shadow on mid lane, and yes, in the base comp he would be playing mid lane. However, reminder: every team is allowed to swap their players around. It's not a set in stone lineup.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's definitely an advantage to banning out specific players. But I think when you are going to have these specific type of comps, your ban should be focused more about what your team accomplishes. But I mean, regardless, with how many champions are in League nowadays, it's a bit hard to completely ban out certain comps. So maybe forcing people off of their comfort picks is also a good idea. I can see we have the $5,000 Kai'Sa skin in the game, so she's of course going to win.
Pay to win it is.
But there's still such a ridiculous amount of money.
An absolutely gorgeous skin, though. It may be overpriced, but my God, does Riot make me want to spend that money?
It's taking a while to load into the game.
Riot Games.
Riot Games.
Let it be known, Riot Games is a multimedia
Oh wow,
company that
look at the
happens to
Kai'Sa's
sometimes make
mastery.
games.
Unable to download spectator data. The game will now exit. Womp womp. Reconnect.
Reconnect.
It did this last time and I was like panicking, but apparently it's like a common issue. Reconnect. Oh, there's literally no window for champ select. Okay. Has my client like actually like full on crashed?
That would be unfortunate.
That would be
Hey,
unfortunate.
it wouldn't be an amateur tournament without some scuff.
Hey, I'll have you know
Hey,
we
that
are a
scuff isn't on
professional
us.
tournament. We're professional casters. Yeah, wow, it's
Is that
literally
so?
just a
Where's my
black
salary?
screen. You'll be paid your salary in the year 2037.
Make it 2036 and you got a deal.
Got it. Yeah, I'm not loading into the game.
Restart the game, maybe.
I just have a black screen. I think we had an issue on Team Scarlet. One of their members were like loading in slowly yesterday. So I believe that might be the cause. I am gonna Alt F4 out of this. I cannot Alt F4, okay. Oh, never mind, we're in. But I did Alt F4, so I'm not. We're in for a split second.
You may be in, but it looks like the stream is still black.
There we go. We should be good.
We most certainly are still black.
Yeah, give it a second.
And we're not even racist.
That's shade.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
There we go. We're
This
good.
is a
And the
family
game's been
friendly
paused. That's probably why. Nice pause. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the pause. Really
beautiful.
appreciate it, you know. So we get to see a very cool little animation there. No one spawned in yet. You know, I wonder why the... Oh, there we go. We're good. Pan over to Team Scarlet. And they paused again. Why are they pausing?
Maybe something's going on.
Something definitely is up.
But look at that beautiful Rennek toy.
Yeah, that is quite cool.
Not as cool as Pool Party Rennek toy.
There we go.
But we'll take it.
Now we're gaming.
Oh. Hopefully.
Now I'm moving out. Look at them go. Pinging the map like wild, by the way. May I add. There we go. Getting into the game here.
Oh, we have.
Okay, it looks like we have not an invade, but like a potential catch looking on the bot side. Blue team doesn't know about this in any capacity at the moment. They're looking to maybe get a pick on the Kai'Sa in the tri-bush. They may get it if the
They
Nautilus
might
lands
get
the
it.
Q. Kai'Sa will need to flash early. Yep, there we go, early flash. Oh, she gets hit by the Ashe W, gets Q'd, and that's going to be a kill straight for the red team. I wonder if they're going to give it to the Ashe. They do give it to the Ashe, so that's plus 300 gold right there. And she uses that to buy a dagger. Not
Game
a
changer.
massive head start, but I mean, it's always nice to have that extra gold. It means you get your first item power spike a bit sooner. We don't really do much in the early lane, unless of course they do try to skirmish more than they should. But as long as they go for just small trade, it should be as if the dagger doesn't realistically exist. Zin starting on his blue, Zac starting on Zin's Raptors, which I believe is warded by the red team, so they are aware. Going straight in for a skirmish, trying to get some more damage and abuse that lead that they're getting with the dagger, making sure that the attack speed gets used. Ashe procs the lethal tempo and gets the kill on Kai'Sa, and I think Falcos picked up... No, Kai'Sa did pick up the kill back, so she does get a little bit of extra gold from that with the new shutdown system. Picks up a long sword. But still 67 gold lead on Ashe, which is a bit lower than the 300 gold lead they had just a moment ago. Looks like potential collapse on Zen in the blue side jungle. He tried to counter invade, and he's gonna have to flash out. Yep, flashes right into the Lissandra, but Fizz is there to provide cover. Valkar's trying to get the kill on the Zen, doesn't quite manage to get anything, and everybody kind of lives and is fine. Does get some damage down on the mid lane to make Lissandra's laning a bit easier. Zen goes off to his Gromp, and Zac clears his blue. Plenty of skirmish happening in the bot side. No, just a ward conflict. Fizz goes in, tries to get the kill. Might be able to if Lissandra keeps pushing forward like that. She does back, probably going to TP to lane. Yeah, she does TP into lane. We're not going to go in and trying to get some damage down on the Gnar. We'll get a nice trade, but Gnar being Gnar can just trade back so much better. Really unfun matchup for Renekton in the top lane. Fizz pushes the lane, takes the opportunity to get a quick back, being able to get back into lane with the new home guards from this season. A slight scuffle in the river. Zac has to flash away. Zen also gets the crab on the north side river. Just some skirmishes going back and forth in the bot lane. Valkars does get caught with no mana. Ashe does have the Q proc. Also fight going in the top lane. We're not going to get to kill on the Zen Zhao. Gnar does try to get away, get some damage. Now might be able to finish Renekton if he gets a cheeky Q, but it's probably going to die. Lissandra flashes over. Fizz trying to come in with the save. Lissandra should get the kill on the Gnar. He does. She does, sorry. Zac's in the glob form. Fizz flashes out and actually lives. Zac just tried to follow up with the E. Fizz probably going to get away here unless they do try and commit, which could potentially be dangerous. Fizz goes back in, knows that he's got the damage with the DOT from the W. Ease over the Lissandra Q, gets the kill on the Zac. Lissandra's going to not E away, actually stays there. Fizz not able to get away. He's not off cooldown yet. Quite a few hectic trades going on. Looks like bot lane had some skirmishes as well, but overall we've got a bit of a gold lead on the blue team. It's about a 1000k gold lead, which is exactly what they want to do with this kind of comp. They need to get those early kills onto Kai'Sa, onto Renekton, and really be able to punish that lead before Renekton scales into nothingness and becomes absolutely useless. Kill's not really going to help him do much in lane. He is going to have to just try and farm the best that he can. You can see that he's already down about 20 CS, but he does go in, try and get some skirmishing onto the Gnar, which just honestly just isn't going to be worth it. Gnar can always trade back for the same, if not better. And Renekton's sustain is nowhere near the same as Mega Gnar. Just going to run him down, get a nice bit of damage on there, potentially setting up for a dive. In the bot lane, going in on a fight, the Ashe Xin versus Kai'Sa Valkar's trade 1-for-1. Both the ADCs do get the kills, so their gold is pretty much still even at the moment. And Renekton really just needs to play safe, get as much farm as he can. He needs to stop going for these trades. He's not going to accomplish anything. And just needs to play safe, really, and he's just not doing that. Getting forced out of lane, getting pushed off with the minions. It's not looking good for the Renekton in the top lane. That kill does help even the gold, so he still has a bit of a gold lead at the moment thanks to that kill, but the CS, you can see 23 CS behind at 6 minutes is not somewhere that you want to be. Some trades going through. Fizz can't E the Q. Gank in the bot lane. Zac gets onto the Nautilus. Ashe gets a bit damaged down, nothing major. Renekton probably about to get dove if Gnar's feeling risky. Gnar does have his 6, Renekton doesn't. He is going to go for the dive. He gets the stun, gets the ulti, gets the Q, and that is a dead crocodile. Should also get him some plates if he wants to be a bit greedy, but I think backing might be the better choice. He'll probably get the 1 plate and then back if he stays for the second. That is overly greedy, especially with the new home guards on the season. Gets the 1 plate, backs out. Bot lane trying to get a plate on the blue side as well, really pushing the aggressive lead that they have with the early kills and the early gold lead. The only gold lead that red team has is 100 on the Xin, which is not really that meaningful when Zac has just been doing a lot of time just ganking around. But oh no, 700 gold lead on the Gnar as well, actually. My apologies. From that kill, got him quite a bit of gold from the new shutdown system. Also 30 CS ahead now on the Gnar. Not where Renekton wants to be looking at. It's not a very good or ideal situation to be in. Other than that, everything's pretty standard. The ADCs at similar farm, mids at similar farm. Just a lot of pressure on Renekton to actually be able to sustain and just survive in lane, so the rest of the team can do some stuff with their small lead. So the first Drake is the Chemtech Drake, and I think Grubs are going to be spawning soon. As Valkar's has roamed up for the Grubs, that is going to go to blue team. It's unlikely the red team's going to be able to contest the Grubs, especially with Gnar pushing as hard as he is. Not Gnar, sorry, with Nautilus pushing as hard as they are in the bot side. Blue team is going to look for a collapse on the Gnar, try and get some of that gold back. They should really just prioritize the Grubs while they have the player lead. Renekton's already behind as it is, just send him down to Grubs, let Gnar push the tower and get something useful for the team. However, red side is going to try and capitalize on getting the Drake at the bot side and trade for the Grubs, which is a fine trade. I think the Grubs are a bit more impactful for blue side at the moment. They definitely need that to kind of help stabilize against pushes and not get swamped by that DOT and the Grublings. But we do get the Cam Drake on the red team. Not the most impactful Drake, but definitely not a bad thing either. Does get them a bit closer to feats, which does look like it's probably going to go to the red side for the feats if they get 1 more kill and 2 objectives or a tower. And it is looking like the red team will be able to get that first tower this game based on how the pushes are going so far. Kai'Sa just getting that solo EXP in bot lane as well is massive for her. Valkar's getting caught out in his own jungle by the Zen, has to flash away. Alessandra able to come in and provide cover, but Kai'Sa's coming in from the back. He's going to get the Valkars, but he is going to die, and that's going to be a kill on another one of the carriers, on the Kai'Sa specifically, which is not something they want to see. Gnar ults and jumps away, just classic Gnar things right there. Just doing whatever he can to abuse Renekton, stop Renekton getting any kind of farm. Now push that CS lead to a whopping 40 CS at 9 minutes, which is very much not what Renekton wants to be seeing. Renekton is not going to be feeling good about this in any capacity. 900 gold lead on the Gnar. Ashe flies the arrow down. Nautilus goes in for the Q. Are going to get the dive into tower. Nautilus too tanky, but they're not going to get the kill. Do force the barrier and flash, however. Almost gets the comeback kill with that W. Insanely close there. Kai'Sa's also brought a call. Probably would have got the kill if she didn't have a call, but she's going for that, pushing that gold lead further with the call. which I don't hate. They're doing well in their skirmishes, and even so, Ashe does have the BF sword. It's not a massive um, issue, but they do need as much gold as they can get, especially with Red Team just naturally going to always be clawing that gold lead back due to just how aggressive they can be in denying CS, especially once again on that top lane with 1k gold difference in the top lane alone towards the Gnar. Scuttle Crab coming up on the north jungle. Zin's probably going to get that with Fizz's support. Fizz heading topside, potentially looking to get a dive on the Renekton, but he was spotted by a ward. Lissandra and Zac do know that this is happening. Zac doesn't really seem to give any care, but Fizz coming in for the dive does get the ulti onto the Renekton, and that's going to be not a dead crocodile. Renekton flashes away from the Fizz's
Very
E. Fizz gets
nice.
rooted by the Liss, and that is a counter dive right there, perfectly. Well, I say perfectly, but as good as executed as it could be given the circumstances. Bot lane going for a fight. Nautilus getting really shut down by the Kai'Sa, but Ashe following on the support as well. Valkos goes down. Nautilus is still alive. Kai'Sa hasn't been able to get the kill, and that's 2 kills picked up for the Ashe, which actually brings the goal lead now in favor to the Ashe down there. Some plates given topside as well. So really not looking good for Red Team here. Red Team, the only gold lead they really have that's of any meaning is on the Gnar, which Gnar, while is a great champion, able to really abuse leads on one-on-one fights, is not really able to capitalize on that gold as much as he would want to later on, and he does get caught out. Lissandra stayed in the top lane. Gnar must have not saw him trying to get the Mega Gnar, does not get the Mega Gnar, and dies to the Renekton, giving some gold and reducing that lead even further. Valkar's ult is onto the Ashe, pops the Ashe's barrier, but she does get out alive.
Again, by the skin of their teeth on the bot lane, but they live.
Yeah, they keep getting out with just small amounts of HP, which definitely doesn't feel good for Blue, but they are pulling back a lot of that gold lead. Now the only real gold lead for Red Team is on the Ashe, and it's really not a substantial amount, so that gold lead's gone from being quite substantial to being mostly meaningless. And Lissandra's going to have to pick up a lot of work with that small gold lead that she does have. Renekton's been able to claw back a bit of CS, not much, but been able to stabilize around about that 40 CS mark that he's missed. The ADCs are dead even on their CS. And Fizz surprisingly has a bit more CS than Lissandra. It's not something you usually see in a melee to range matchup. And even with Fizz roaming as much as Fizz has been, it's a bit of a surprise that Lissandra is underfarmed compared. Renekton going in for a trade, but once again, Gnar just trades back so much better. Nautilus catches out the Valkars on a Q, gets Ashe arrow. That's going to be a kill onto the Valkars. It doesn't have flash, so he's just going to die there. Naj pushing really bad damage. Actually gets the kill, surprisingly. Really well executed dive there. Fizz going in for some damage on Lissandra, but the aftershock is really painful to push through as the Fizz. Those extra resistances do so much early on. Drake is coming up soon. I'm not sure what Drake this one's going to be. Infernal Drake. Pretty nice Drake for both teams to want to try and pick up and capitalize on. Let's see, Renekton is dead. I don't believe Renekton has his TP up as well either. Actually, no, I don't think he has TP. I can't see Renekton's other summoner spell, but Gnar does, I believe, has his TP up, so they could potentially try and force a fight on the Drake for red side. None of them really going for it at the moment, but they do have the manpower. But Valkos gets caught out the Nautilus, and he throws out the ulti, try and get some damage, but is going to die to the Ashe. Right, no, dice to the Nautilus. Xin Zhao going in, tried to get some damage on the Ashe, but Zac was there to counter Renekton. Did actually have his TP up, so I do apologize there. TP it down to assist, and Blue may try and force this situation here on the Drake while Gnar's top side. They do need to make something work, otherwise Gnar is just going to be getting free gold and free map presence on the top side. Sandra is going up to try and combat that, but no team's really trying to secure the Drake, surprisingly. It's worth noting both ADCs have completed their first item. Kai'Sa's opted for the pickaxe, whereas Ashe opted to finish the shoes into Berserker Greaves. Gives Kai'Sa a bit more damage, but Ashe, the attack speed is infinitely more useful than that little bit of extra AD, and also the movement speed to get away from some of the aggressors like Kai'Sa, like Zac. Gets another Q onto Valkos. Valkos getting hooked more than I do. Gets ignited, dies. Kai'Sa made, no, not Kai'Sa, Ashe dies to the Renekton. No to the Lissandra side. Lissandra gets 2 shutdowns. Absolutely huge amount of gold going to the Lissandra now with 1.6k gold lead. Red do have their own fair share of gold on the 1.2k on the Gnar. Overall, fairly even match, but it does look like Blue's going to be able to pick up the Infernal Drake, which is going to be very nice, especially with the kind of comp they're going in where they want to be able to dive, get those picks back out. So Infernal does help a lot there. Kaiser's getting a bit too greedy for those plates and does die to the Xin Zhao's Titanic Hydra there.
Every time I look at Muffin, he takes a tower shot. I know he loves them, but this really shows it.
Zen trying to secure the Drake, and nice try. Probably going to get the kill. Doesn't get the Drake, but is probably going to kill the Lissandra unless the Zac does ult team away. But he's able to E back through and get the kill. Now with his sustain, he actually probably can fight Zac here without any kind of issue unless somebody can help with the assist. And doesn't like anybody to be able to get there, so Zac is going to die here unless he's able to get his E up in time, which he doesn't look like it. Wonder if they're going to give the kill to the Ashe, which they probably should do, and they do. Love to see that. Let's see, so CS gap has widened quite a bit for the top laners. Renekton now almost over 50 behind, as Fizz goes in for a bit of damage, doesn't really get anything, but does force Renekton to pop his ulti. Not sure how worth that is. Both those ultis are fairly low cooldowns, however, so it may not make a huge amount of difference. They are looking to collapse on this Fizz, though, with Valkars in the backside jungle, but they're not actually going to follow through with any of that by the looks of it. Missed opportunity there, but I guess Gnar was also coming in from the topside river. Herald is up now, the only real major objective on the map. Feats have also still not been given to anybody, so Feats is still up in the air. Both teams have one objective. For the Feats, red team needs 1 more kill or 2 more objectives, and blue team needs their first tower or 2 more objectives. We have a Kraken Slayer Kai'Sa and a Yuntal Ashe. Personally, not a huge fan of the Kraken Slayer on Kai'Sa, but I guess they do need the AD a bit more given their team comp, so I guess it's not the worst thing. Black Cleaver first on Renekton, pretty standard. I'm not a huge fan of it given that there's no armor at all on red side. Probably could have been better giving himself a bit more sustain. Pick almost gets found out. Kai'Sa did massive damage on the Ashe. Nautilus does come in to intercept. Ashe is really low. Zac's going in, trying to find the Ashe. Ashe does get forced to flash. However, Zac is now very vulnerable, almost dead. Finds the dash onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa gets stopped by the Fizz Shark and ends up dying to the Ashe. Renekton now getting caught out as well. Going to try and plant away. Gets forced back into more of the red team and does die. Fizz jumps over the Valkars combo. Gets some damage on the Valkars. Follows him with the Q. Going to get that WDOT. Should actually have the kill here, maybe. Yeah, does get the kill with the DOT. Zac finds the Ashe as well, going to get that QQ sloppy stuff that Zac does, and does get the kill on the Ashe and heals up quite substantially with his passive there. Nice bit of shutdown gold as well. Nar's going to try and get the kill on the Zac, but the Zac does just get over away into the jungle. Meanwhile, in the bot side, Liss getting towers of some gold for the blue team. We do have, let's see, Atakan spawning in 1 minute. Looks like it's going to be a south Atakan. We've got Baron spawning in 6 minutes, so if they want to get that Herald, it's a bit too late. Wait, no, did somebody get the Herald? No. Wait, no, they did. They did. They got the Herald on the Xin, so red side did get something out of it at the very least. In terms of gold, Gnar now with a whopping 2k gold lead, Xin with a 1k gold lead, and Ashe with a 1k as well. Meanwhile, on the blue side, you've got just the Lissandra and with the 700 gold lead, so not looking great for blue team at the moment. They are able to find picks here and there, but red team is just playing quite consistent. We've got Ocean Drake coming up next in 1 minute. Lysandra and Narj going back and forth. Lysandra trying to get some gold on the top. Nar's going to go in for some trade. May actually be able to kill the Lysandra. Lysandra's not careful. Nar's got the speed boost, got the slow on the Q. Doesn't have his E yet. Lysandra does have to use her ulti. He E's, gets the double, gets the ulti with the flash to the following W and the Q, and Lysandra does go down there, giving some more much needed gold to the Valkos gets Ash arrowed, followed in by the E from the Zen over the wall. Zac tries to save with his CC, but it's not really going to be enough. Going in for a massive comp. Relax's popped his ulti. Fizz gets in, gets the Kai'Sa, does E over. Going to probably try and get the Zac. They may be able to follow through on this. Fizz does flash. Yeah, flashes, gets the kill on the Zac and backs away. That should be both an Atakan and a Drake for the red team. An ace across the board. Massive amounts of gold going towards them, and it's going to be really hard for the blue team to come back from this, especially with the kind of comp that they have. They've really not been able to make use of the couple leads that they did get early. They've fallen behind massively. I mean, top lane almost 100 CS behind now. ADC is starting to show some CS lead in favor of the Ashe, and Fizz has lost a little bit of CS, but has kills to make up for it, and it's just so much gold in favor of red team right now, with a massive 6k gold lead, with the Atakan, with the buffs from the pedals, with 3 Drakes now. No, 2 Drakes, sorry, and not 3. The blue team did get the Infernal earlier. Still no feats issued, however. 1 more kill needed for red team, or 2 objectives still. That doesn't seem right now. I think the overlay is a bit weird because they did definitely just get the feats from the Atakan and the Dragon. Valkor's trying to catch out the Nautilus, doesn't get enough damage, just not enough items there on the Valkors, unfortunately. I think the only hope for blue team at this point is to try and find picks where possible, try and get some objective bounties, and just overall need to play a lot more safe, play a lot more together, and just find these very safe picks, and just try and turtle the best they can to try and get some semblance of gold back. But it's going to be difficult, especially with the team comp that red team has, where they're just so easily able to get on top of people, especially with the Nautilus Q, the Nautilus ulti, the Ash arrow from downtown, the Xin with his E, the Gnar overfed into oblivion. It's going to be very difficult for blue to make anything kind of happen in this match. Red team still also have the Herald. They should probably use that soon before it does pop. Only real place I see it being used is maybe mid or bot. Though they, yeah, there's no objectives bot lane, so there's no need to put the Herald top. They should go for like a mid push maybe after they get their next fight done. Red team taking blue team's jungle now as well, trying to starve them as gold the best that they can. They know that they've got the lead and they're not looking to lose it anytime soon. The 3-level lead on the Gnar compared to the Renekton. Just look at that, just 3 autos in a queue, and Renekton's almost at half HP. Disgusting damage from the Gnar with that almost 3k gold lead now. In terms of items, Kai'Sa's finished her Ginsu, Ashe finished her IE. Lysandra might be dying to the Fizz. The Gnar might be dying to blue team. Does get the ulti back, does get some Q damage, but he's going to die. They're going to give that to the Renekton, apparently. Probably would have been better on the Kai'Sa. Renekton's at a point where no matter how much gold you give him, he's going to be practically useless at this point. But red team is countering with the Herald top side. They do get the top inhib tower. Are going to go for the inhib as well by the looks of it. And they know he's going to use it to get away. Not sure what Zen was trying, but he's get the kill because he's Zen. Or does he not? No, he does get the kill, but he doesn't get away.
He still lives.
Okay, I don't even know. Why is he alive?
Never mind.
Just die. It does eventually die, but Naught's able to pick up the kill onto the Valkars, but now it's going to die to the Lysandra or Zac. Gives it to the Lysandra, so a bit sloppy gameplay there. Probably should have just backed away after the Herald got the first tower. There was no need to give up the gold there. But it doesn't matter too much. They do have the lead to be able to make a couple mistakes without it being too drastic, as long as they don't continue to keep making the mistakes. But overall, they got some permanent map presence with that inhib tower down, so that's all well and good. We've got Baron spawning in 30 seconds, another Ocean Drake in 1 minute 40. So potential for both red to pick up both of these 2 upcoming objectives, which would not be great news for the blue team. Kai'Sa's building Nash's Tooth now with Ginsu's. I'm really not liking this Kai'Sa build. They have so much AP as it is. You really need to focus more on AD. But at the same time, there's no resistances on the red side for MR other than Merc Treads and a Hexblade on Zen. So no team really opting in for those defenses to counter the key damage points that the opposing team has. Valkars has to flash away. It doesn't really matter though, because Fizz is going to find the ulti and does fall there, and they are probably going to get the Baron off of this. It's going to be really hard for Blue Team to contest this. Lysandra does TP up though, as Gnar follows suit with a TP of his own. Lysandra gets rooted, so she can't follow in with the E to get any of that damage with the AoE of the ulti or the W. Zac goes in, gets Qs, pops the ultis. Renekton pops his ulti, as in ease over the wall, finds the Lysandra. Renekton tries to get the Ashe, but falls short, unfortunately. And overall, it's a 3-for-2, 3-for-1 trade. Fizz dying in favor of the Lysandra and Renekton, and then the Valkos pick from earlier, which should secure the Baron for the red team, and they can very easily go down and follow up with the Dragon after this, as both the top and the mid for blue side is still going to be down by the time that the Dragon does spawn, so they should either go straight down to the Drake, or they might back and then run down with the Baron buff. Both options do work. It's like they are going to back and should probably go down to that Ocean Drake and secure that. And it does look like that is what they're going to do. Gold lead now at 6.5k. Massive gold lead for the red. Not increased too much from when we last saw it, but still a very substantial gold lead nonetheless. And they're just going to pick up the Ocean Drake here. Zac's backing, no way to contest this. That's just going to go straight to the red team. Ashe has picked up Mortal Reminder. Fight going on in the bot lane. Renekton versus Gnar, and Gnar always wins this one. He did catch Renekton out guard while Renekton was trying to farm, but he's going to die here. Renekton just popped the ulti, but it's not going to save him from the Gnar. Not even the flash can save him when the ult attack was already heading downtown. But yeah, we've got the Nash's 2 pick up for the Kai'Sa. Mortal Reminder picked up for the Ashe. Not a huge fan of it. Again, just no armor on the opposing team other than one Bramble Vest on the Zac. Maybe it would have been better to get some other form of crit damage, maybe a Phantom Dancer, or just really anything that isn't the finished Mortal Reminder. Not really sure why Mortal Reminder was picked up. Fighting on the bot lane, Lysandra ultis herself, Zac gets blobbed. Valkos throws up his ulti, doesn't quite get enough damage down, and red team's just going to win the game with this more than likely. Just Kai'Sa left alive. She could try and make something work, but it's probably not going to happen. And with that fight, it should be game for the red team here. They've got Baron buff, and nobody's going to be up. Renekton is up actually, could try and make a save. Kai'Sa gets picked out, is going to die to the Gnar and the Ashe. Renekton follows suit, and that's going to be game for red team.
GG, horsing around again, showing a very strong performance here.
They are powering through this bottom bracket. Maybe we'll see them back in the top bracket at this rate.
I gotta say, the amount of times Night Elf was just kept being alive for whatever reason was mind-boggling. This champion is very fair, it seems.
Who are we dragging up for our MVP?
Yes, Alexis, who do you think would be the MVP of horsing around this game?
MVP of horsing around, honestly, it's probably going to go to the Gnar. Gnar absolutely knocked this game out of the ballpark, abused every lead that he was able to be given, and just played the lane so well, and just accomplished so much pressure for the horsing around team. So I definitely think Shending once again is probably the MVP for horsing around.
Let's bring him in.
Okay, let's see what he has to say. Tell us about this game. Hello again.
Welcome
hello.
back.
This time
Very
I'm
good
ready and prepared.
performance.
Thank you.
You were a bit of a bully up top there, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't really fun for him. And they tried to overgroup a few times to try to contest a Drake or another objective, and then I just got more and more gold. So then it wasn't fun for him to come back to the side after that.
So what's the plan? We're going with the finals with you, I think. What?
I mean, that's always the plan, right? How many games? I haven't looked. How many games do we have left in the losers bracket before we come up there? Is it
Uh,
3 more?
for you, it would be two games in the losers bracket, and if you win those, you get back into the finals, and you do best of 3 against the other finalists.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
But that will
yeah,
be on Sunday if you get there.
yeah. I am confident. It's gonna be rough when we meet the same team we lost against again, but I think we're gonna be able to adapt and do a little bit better for ourselves at least. We're hitting our stride. Um, I think enemies have a lot to think about. Are they gonna ban like okay, they're gonna ban my Shen? Are they gonna ban the Ashe, the Zac, the Xin Shao? And now we also have the pocket pick Fizz coming in from Tsoi. This I'm gonna be interested in seeing what the enemy chooses to prioritize here. Um, I am actually not sure. We have a lot of scary people on our team.
That you do. Well, I guess we'll wish you luck tomorrow and have fun watching the next games if you're gonna be there.
Yeah, but we do have one more game today, right? At 10 p.m., I think.
Wait, you are. I am lost in my own bracket. Give me a second.
Horsing around is our team.
Yes, because that will be match 15. Yes, indeed, that will be the last match of the day. So yes, we will see you again actually
Yes.
today.
A
See you
lot of
there.
games in today.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
Uh,
send you back, or if you want to go back yourself,
Send yourself.
send
Go send.
yourself back to the Shadow Realm.